You're listening to SM Media, the home of exclusive West of Scotland Football League content. Hi folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media West of Scotland Football Show. I'm Scotland Pike. It's a pleasure as always to be your host. I'm delighted to welcome my guest on this week's episode. It's a pleasure to welcome the new manager of Royal Albert, Connor Whitelaw.
Hi mate, thanks for having us.
Pleasure mate, looking forward to this. How you been?
Aye, good mate, thanks, really good. Busy. Really good, thanks.
Good man. You've obviously been in at Royal Albert now a few weeks. As we said before we come on, you couldn't ask for a better start. Five wins out of five, winning two, still in two cups. It's been pretty good, pretty solid so far. What's it been like? Obviously, because with Royal Albert, they're a respectable name in the juniors, but they're a side that I think a lot of people can say have lost their way for a couple of years. How did the job come about, and how you been finding it?
Well, firstly, loving it, absolutely loving it. Obviously, the great time at amateur, but it was juniors was always the next step up. With the team we had, I always thought maybe it'd be next season. But the opportunity came up for this season. Myself, my coaches, and the full team jumped at it. As you touched on, 5 wins out of 5. Couldn't ask for much more. I think, to be fair, there's been 2 or 3 games where if we maybe drew, or you wouldn't have, we've kind of rode our luck at times, but we've also been fantastic at times. As for the job coming round, obviously the club was in a wee bit of turmoil. I don't think that's any secret to them. The results haven't been good enough for a long time. So basically, I applied for the job. I seen that the previous manager had resigned or been sacked or whatever. I don't know the ins and outs, but I applied for the job, and straight away the old committee this was at the time. They seemed very interested and whatnot, but then I was made aware from Peter and Doran, the old committee, that they were actually right in the middle of giving the club over to a new committee. So everything was a bit up in the air, and is it happening, is it not happening? The new committee came in. Peter and Doran gave over the new committee, John, Scott, Bordy, and the 3 of them are really, they were running the 7 or 8 youth clubs under the Royal Albert name, so they come with a background and they know the Royal Albert, they're from the area and whatnot. They made it very clear to me that I was the person they wanted to come in, and obviously at the time I had my Saturday morning team, and who were flying, really good young team, so I brought over 17, 18 of my boys, and obviously there was still a squad of 17 or 18 original boys at the Albert, so the first 2 or 3 weeks was challenging, to say the least. I think we turned up to the first training session 36 boys or something like that. So over the last few weeks, we've had to be a wee bit cruel to be kind to a few boys from both teams, from the original Royal Albert, from the team I came with. We're sitting still around 25, 26, which is still a wee bit much. But the boys have bought into what we're doing. Obviously, results help that when you're winning games. It's easier to keep boys happy, and we're trying to get friendlies as much as possible. So I want to have a fair look at the original Albert boys. I don't like to just look at the results and write them off. But it's been really, really good. Loving it. Really, I'm enjoying it. Just the full setup. It's been really good, as I say. And the new committee have got big plans for the club. They've been backing me straight as soon as anything I've asked for in the first 5-6 weeks. They've gave me it and more. There's big plans for the club moving forward, so it's exciting. It's a really good project to be part of, to be honest with you, mate.
What about, obviously, like you mentioned there about kind of coming from the amateur background, and that fourth division, like we say it a lot, there's sides coming down. Royal Albert's one of them, but there's a lot of sides coming for the kind of amateur background. There's a lot of kind of managers. Like, are you kind of familiar with some of the sides? Are you familiar with some of the players? Like,
I'm familiar with some. I'll be brutally honest. Looking from an outside, obviously being involved with a very successful amateur club, and that you always look at the fourth division and go, that's where you would ideally like to start off, and you name some teams again, Royal Albert were always one of them. You would like, oh, my amateur team would beat them and this and that. But the 5 games we've played in, and I'm not just saying this, I've been really surprised at the standard. I thought the 4th division, there was a lot of poor sides, this and that. Like the last game, for instance, Carluke in the West, we finished 2-0, but it was a 50-50 game. It was a game of 2 halves. Form, for instance, we won 2-0 again. We were up against it, backs against the walls against Form. They're a really good side. They came for the amateurs and a lot of their boys. Really good bunch of boys as well. But again, we won 2-0. But another day, if you went in 2-0 down, you couldn't really have.
Yeah.
So, as I say, I've been really pleasantly surprised with the standard, with the setup, with a lot of clubs. It's definitely opened my eyes, put it that way. I know there's still some good amateur teams who are trying to get into the division next year and whatnot. So again, if they teams get on board next season, it can only be stronger. Obviously, you've got your 3 coming down for Division 3 as well. So it's surprisingly a good standard to what people from the outside may think.
So, obviously, we'll get into kind of at the end just to let your games coming up. But I want to ask you this, obviously, like when you went in, though I think you were bottom. I'm not. I think you were, but obviously the point deduction as well. Now you're on that run and you're sitting in 14th. Promotion, I don't know how you feel about it, but looking at the points table, I'd say promotion is extremely unlikely.
Yeah.
But is it just about this season, just getting as far up as you can and then focusing on the next season? Is that the kind of target at the moment?
Aye. So my kind of selling point to the players every week is take a game at a time, keep winning games of football. That's all we're bored about.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we came in, I made it, and as I say, I've kept a lot of original Royal Albert boys, and I've made it clear losing games 7, 8, 9 now won't happen again under us. Not meaning that in a cheeky way, but it's simply not good enough. It can't be happening. All we're looking to do is be winning games week to week. It didn't help, obviously, the 3-point deduction, which we never knew about.
I'd say that was before you went in, aye.
It was for a game against Giffnock.
Right, got you.
Months ago, it was a suspended player played or something. It was before. And again, you can win 4 out of 4 in the league, and then that 3-point deduction came up. So that's kind of zipped all talking. But again, a lot of people will be surprised with my team. My average age of my team's about 21, 22 max. So the boys have got to need this. As I say, I kind of came in at a good time but a bad time.
Yeah.
So I came in and it gives my players 6 months to get their feet under the table and get used to junior football, as I say, because we're not one easy game. Even the Knightsbridge game, it maybe looks on paper an easy game. We're 1-0 down in a few minutes. Yeah, I don't think you'll get easy games at this level. So it's about us getting, and then myself included, because myself and my 2 coaches come from amateur background. So we've been quite lucky with a lot of home games, not away games. So again, I'll learn more for the group of boys I've got now when we're going to a Glenvale away or a St Peters away, and I'll see where we're at then as well. But it's just win games of football week to week at the moment.
Because one thing you look at as well, and like with Royal Albert, they are. I mean, I've spoke to a lot of people who started out their time at Royal Albert and have moved on to managing the Premier League. They've moved on to playing the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Like such a well-respected club at this level, and like do you feel that kind of internal pressure, like that you could be the person to kind of get them kind of back to where in a kind of, do you know what I mean? Like because it's been so difficult the past few years, like coming in, new committee, it's a big time for the club to kind of move forward.
Again, though, I've got nothing but appreciation for the job Peter and Donald done under difficult circumstances. They kept the club. The club's been going 128 years, something. In the last 33 years, Peter's played a massive factor in keeping that club going. They've a lot of. I come from West Mahago. It's 10 minutes down the road. They've had a lot of difficult periods in their history as well, but I know of. And Peter's kept that club going. It's not easy. There's no secret. There was no big money getting thrown about at Royal Albert, and there still isn't. There's a plan in place, hopefully to win games, but we'll never be a club where we'll go and throw money to short-term success. But in saying that, I think one of the committee members actually told me on Saturday that the last crowd was nine people paid in to the gate, the last home game. our last attendance against Kilwit was 162 people or something like that. So the village of Stonehouse, Larkhall, it's coming out. We're starting to win games, and that's what a lot of people are saying. We're getting really big crowds. Again, it's a lot of local boys playing, which obviously helps. But the support we're gaining, people are stopping boys in the streets saying, "Oh, good result of the weekend." It is the kind of talk of the wee place at the moment. So I like getting back to like the previous managers and that. I've had a nice message off Jamie Nisbet, who obviously won the league with the Albert a few years ago. And then he's obviously at Cumbernauld now, isn't he? So he's done well. But I've done a lot of nice messages for guys who I didn't even think would take their time of day to talk about Royal Albert. Guys, managers at Pollock and whatnot have sent nice messages back, who does the other podcast as well. So it's been good. It's been really good.
No, brilliant. That's good. We'll get into talking about kind of overall what's coming up kind of later on, but I want to touch on what's been happening over the weekend. There was a few big games over the weekend in terms of cup action. Start with St Cadoc's. They progressed into the next round of Junior Cup. They had a big result, 1-0 away to Stonehaven. Again, it's one of those places, Stonehaven. It's a long bus journey. You get the win through the next round of the cup. I think that's a big result for St Cadoc's.
That's all you can ask for, as you say, especially it's not ideal sitting on a bus for a few hours and cramping up and whatnot. And again, back in their mind, they're probably not sure if the game is going ahead or not. So to get up there and get a victory, that's a great result.
I see. I think you've just got Campbelltown to go to, so I think you'll have a bus journey to go shortly.
We were supposed to be at Campbelltown last Saturday, and it get put off on the Friday afternoon, so it did. So it's been put back to April, so I'm actually a wee bit more pleased April. I didn't really fancy the bus journey up there in the ice last week. But we've got up there, so we're looking forward to that. And I'm led to believe that's a really good setup up there as well.
Brilliant. So, yeah, I've heard good things about there as well.
I've heard good things. Again, the results, I think, new to the league and that, but I think they get really good crowds and whatnot as well, so they do.
Yeah, no, that'll be something to look forward to. We have our two finalists in the Strathclyde Demolition Cup. It's going to be between Drumchapel United and Neilston. Drumchapel obviously won this 2 years ago, got them entry into the Scottish Cup, and these two sides, like obviously getting a cup will do them very good in the long run, but that entry into the Senior Scottish Cup as well. This is going to be two sides that are eager to get that trophy in and get an entry in there.
It's massive. Obviously, you've got to kind of you would fancy Drumchapel to get the job done there. So obviously, with Neilston's a wee bit of on-field problems and whatnot, new managers and stuff like that. But again, on their day, Neilston can beat MD. I spoke to Darryl, they played Neilston in the Cup and I was really impressed with them a few weeks ago. New manager coming in, so that again, you've got that final to look forward to, haven't you? So, but again, you'd probably fancy the Drum to edge that.
You're talking about Darryl. Let's move into, I would think, probably one of the big results of the weekend, actually, in the second round of the West Cup. Bellshill 3, Lanark 4. I think you would have got your money's worth if you were a neutral. But that, I was talking to Darryl a few weeks ago when we were talking about Bellshill and how impressive they've been in their unbeaten start. To go and beat them 4-3, especially when you're in the same league as them in the Cup, can just give you a bit of confidence.
We went down to it. Obviously, we
played the winners.
Our game got called off 10 minutes before going out to warm up. So basically, the full team we were playing the winners on the 6th of January. So that'll be a good tie. We went down to watch it, so we did, and it got everything. See, for £6, you couldn't have asked for better value for money. Lanark were up 3-0 in the first 15 minutes. Bellshill brought it back. The big boy Gracie had him at West Mahago. Gracie is just a typical 35-yard wonder goal. That's what he's capable of. But to be fair, it was a really good game. It had everything, sending offs, unit penalties, offside goals, you name it. It was a really good cup tie. With a good crowd on a difficult surface, obviously, with the rain that had fell. Yeah. But I was impressed with both sides. To be fair to Lanark, obviously, I know Lanark inside out with being the Les Mahago connection, and he's doing a really good job there with the injuries. He's sitting with 9-10 injuries at the moment and competing all fronts. Bellshill, I think they'll go up, to say the least. Probably win that league. I think with how they are in front, I was impressed with Bellshill. I think to go 3 down and come back to 3 each, and they missed a sitter 2 minutes before Gracie's scored. So you can see they've got the kind of marks it's early to say, but a team who could go and win the league title with the comeback that they showed on Saturday. But that was a really good game. I really enjoyed that. Impressed with both sides.
No, I think if you were at any of the games in the second round, you'd get your money's worth. 25 goals across the 4 games. Beath 7, Glasgow United 3. Obviously, bespoke Bellshill 3, Lanark 4. Darvel 3, Greenock Juniors 2, and Glasgow Perthshire 1, Cumbernauld 3. I mean, you look at Greenock, I think they gave Darvel a fright. I think Glasgow United were the same. I think Goodwillie scored a double, but Beath, Darvel, Cumbernauld, you would have probably expected them to win, but it wasn't easy for them, any of them.
Oh, I always, obviously, my game been off. I'll just refresh my Twitter on Saturday, and I seen that I'm sure Glasgow United were up 1-0 quite early.
I think they were, yeah. I think they scored really early on.
Really early, and I actually said that I know a few boys who are involved down there as well, and they've got some good takeaway. Goodwill, who's obviously a crack player, they've got some really good players as well. Beef are obviously the top of the top, isn't they? So no surprise with that. Greenock, that's, if I'm led to believe, really gave Darvel a game as well. And
yeah.
Again, you're starting to see that now. Maybe second and third division teams are starting to hold their own when they're going. If you look at a lot of the cup results this season, even going to, like, for instance, the Form a few weeks ago, they were up 2-0 and get bet 3-2. I'm sure to Neilston. Yeah. You're starting to see that the gulf is starting to gradually close a wee bit. You're seeing that in the cups this season, I would say.
No, I'd agree with that. Like, I think as well, looking at the results in the third round as well, Larkhall beating Blantyre 4-3. Like, Blantyre very consistent. Yeah. Larkhall won their 4-3. I think that was a really up and down game as well. I think both sides kind of were.
Aye.
It was kind of end to end. I think it was a really good, big result for Larkhall, and it can just give them a bit of confidence as well. But Blantyre again so solid so far. But Larkhall, that'll be a big victory for them.
Oh, 100%. Again, with it being a wee local area, I know a lot of the Larkhall boys, and a lot of the boys I've got now were at Larkhall last year, so they were down watching. They were down watching that game on Saturday, and again they said it had everything, sending off goals, you name it. So Larkhall's a good side. They're a young side, and they were struggling to pick up points at the start of the season, but the last 7 or 8 games, I think they've really been on a run now. Good manager there, good setup, always got good crowds. I wouldn't be surprised to see them going a wee run between the now and the end of the season. I think they've Darvel this weekend in the Scottish, so they'll see where they're at with that. But again, that's a good day out for them. Get up to Darvel.
Certainly is. Just running through the third round results: Auchinleck 4, Troon 1, Clydebank 1, lost 5-4 in penalties to Pollock. Pollock into the next round. Glenafton 3, Largs 1, first one for Ryan Caddis as new Glenafton manager. Rob Roy 1, Vale of Clyde 0, Larkhall 4, Blantyre 3, and Shotts 4, Eglinton 0. I would have to look at Clydebank Pollock. I really went to the death that Pollock prevailed.
I think looking at the fixtures on Saturday morning, I didn't see that being a 4-1 or a 3-0 either way. I seen a wee clip on Twitter last night with the penalty shout. Again, there was a few unhappy folk. But Pollock, we actually downplayed Pollock in a wee bounce game. I think my second weekend back.
Right, okay.
Our cast was down, and it was a great experience for my young boys going down there and playing. And they're a good side, Pollock. And you've seen that with their senior run with Scottish and whatnot. Clydebank as well. That's just 2 really good teams going at it. I don't think that'll ever be much in between teams like that on Cup Day, but good result for Pollock. They'll take penalties every day at the week away to Clydebank.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting a win. Auchinleck, Mark Shankland went to his old stomping ground and scored a 2-minute goal, but Auchinleck bounced back. I think that could actually Auchinleck. I think that's a huge win for them, because obviously going down early on to bounce back the way they did, and Troon are a good side. That could be a wee turning point for Talbot as well.
Again, though, they've been picking up a few wins
recently.
Always looking at Saturday, Talbot's one of the teams you look for the results, isn't it? And they've been picking up a few wins. It's a good win on Saturday, but again, it's not a win I'm overly surprised with.
Nah.
At home especially, the Talbot will always be a really good side at home. But again, the great result, 4-1 in the cup. You'll take that.
You certainly will. I want to give a wee shout out to Ryan Caddis as well. 3-1 win for Glenafton over Largs. His brother giving him the lead after 5 minutes. I listened. I'm going to go there on Saturday and watch them against Clydebank, because I want to see how both sides are. But I just think that to me is a sensible appointment, just bringing in Ryan. I think Ryan's been a guy who done really well at Craigmark. Obviously went in at Whitlitz, where it was a really tough time. We'll talk about Whitlitz in a second. But going in, I just think a side like Glenafton, get a few players in, kind of build a structure, and I think that appointment will do them very,
Oh,
very well, actually.
he definitely knows his stuff. Again, he'll get back down there. He'll get a chance to. He'll get a chance to succeed. For that, I'm led to believe, it's a really good committee down there, and they back their managers. And I think that's important. Obviously, when you're in that league, you need a bit of backing to give yourself a chance. And all you can ask for is to get his own players in and get a run of wins or a run of better results. And I think with the team he's got, it's more than capable of doing that, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Whilst have got a new manager, they have appointed former Glenafton boss Mick McCann. It's a weird merry-go-round happening here. Whilst manager's gone to Glenafton, old Glenafton, and coming from Main Bowl, we don't know who. It's such a bizarre, but I really like Mick as a manager. I think getting appointed at Glenafton, I think it was a difficult time for the club, but I think a place like Whitlets, it's going to be difficult for them this season, the position they're in. But similar position to yourselves, just try and get a bit of respectability. That's kind of the main target for Mick this season.
No, 100%. Like when you're having a tough season as they are, as it's about getting a smile back in the boys' faces, getting the confidence in there, building a wee bit of team morale, because they're the wee things like that. If you can start getting them, start getting numbers at training, get a result at the weekend, all of a sudden you start finding yourself on a wee run. And as you say, just try and get some points on the board and see what happens, see where it takes you. And again, if I'm being honest, he probably again's looking already to next season. And the bigger picture, obviously, it's half a season to go, but I think if he was to tell you the truth, he'd probably be already looking at rebuilding and getting, again, similar to the last manager, getting his own players in, his own coaching staff, and just going for there, really.
We'll move on to the league action. We obviously had, with cups and weather, we didn't really have much league action, but there was enough. There was a big game in the Premier Division. Cumnock 3, Arthurlie 2. Again, huge 3 points for Cumnock, takes them up to 9th in the league, that with 18 points with 13 games. Robbie Young scoring a double. Very tight game between those two. Cumnock 3, Arthurlie 2. Big result.
Yeah, 100%. Aye. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of league football at the weekend. That's a big result there. Again, you're seeing it. There's 3-2s and 2-1s, and it's a lot of tight games, especially this time of year as well. But again, it's a big win.
It certainly is. Yeah, obviously, Cumnock, big result for them. Let's move into 2 games in the first division. I want to start with Colwynnon. Up to 4th in the table. They won 4-2 away to Maybole. Doubles from Graham Boyd and Kieran Wood. And Colwynnon, they had a really, really bad start. They're now 4th. And as I keep saying about this league, go on a run and you can bounce up the table because it is so tight. If you can get, I think there's something like eight wins in a row. I think something like eight games unbeaten. They have had a phenomenal run so far.
Aye, they have. Again, no, big club. They're a very big club. We were down playing Eglinton. It's kind of the same kind of setup. And they were playing St Roch's, and they'd some crowd, and they've got a great setup down there. And again, they'll be looking to bounce back up and get back to the Premier. A team like that probably deserve to be playing in the Premier Juniors or the West of Scotland. It's a big club, so I'm not surprised to see them going on a run. I'm not, obviously, with their manager there and their coaching staff. They couldn't ask for more experienced guys, so I'm not surprised with that at all.
Renfrew are a side that have obviously had a good run as well. They won 4-2 at home to Rutherglen. Double for Joe Gillespie, Andrew Skinner with another goal. They've just a side that's picked up recently as well, Renfrew. They had a difficult result a couple of weekends ago at home to Peters Hill, but they've won 3 at the last 4.
Aye, they have. I know a few boys who play with Canby Rangers, and they went down to Renfrew and they got a sore one that day. And they were really impressed with Renfrew. Again, it's meant to. I've not been myself, but they have a really good setup down there, and obviously they're starting to bring in 2 or 3 players as well, for I'm led to believe. So they're going a wee run. Again, no, they're quite a well-known club. I'd fancy them to stay up now. But again, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, certainly. Let's move into the second division. Big game of the weekend was Caledonian Locomotives 1-2-0 away to Kilsyth Rangers. That puts Cali Locos into second. They're levelling points. So looking really tight now up at the top. Cali Locomotives, Cumbernauld and Kilsyth all on 26. Maryhill, we'll talk about them in a second. Cali Locomotives, I don't think it can be emphasised enough the job that Kevin's done in there.
Oh, he has done a really good job there. Under difficult circumstances at times, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
and he's doing really well there. I think I'm led to believe it's a really young team down there as well. So, he seems to be doing well there.
Muirkirk are unbeaten in the last 4 games, and I think they're up to 7th in the league. They won 2-0 away to Bonneton. They big again, kind of going under the radar. Muirkirk, like they're up to 7th now. They played a lot of games, but again, unbeaten in their last 4. Dawson and Hazlitt with the goals, and I think Ross deserves a lot of credit as well for what he's done there.
I think the full club deserve a bit of credit over the last few years. Again, touching on somebody like myself coming in at Royal Albert, Muirkirk, a lot of difficult seasons over the last 5, 6, 7 years. And again, the full club deserve a mention, but it's not an easy place to go. I've been doing watching games there, and they don't get turned over at home a lot there. It's a hard place to go. So again, they could find themselves in another few wins. They'll be looking up the way, not down the way anyway.
Maryhill are up to 5th. They won 3-1 at home to Wishaw. Hood, Jarvis and Lee with the goals. And again, we keep talking about managers in this division. The job Mark's done as well. They've had some big results, and they're another side. That second division looked really, really close up top, by the way.
It is. It's really, really close. Again, we train next to Wishaw and whatnot, and they're going through a wee bit of no turmoil, that's harsh, but a turnover of players and manager. I think the manager's trying to find his feet there with players as well, so it's difficult. But getting back to the previous manager, he's doing another cracking job as well. It's so tight, that second division, for 3rd, 4th, right to the bottom. It's again, even at the top end, they can be MD on their day.
There is 10 points split in 2nd to 13th.
I thought that.
Wild, isn't it? Like every league's kind of like that, but you're looking like 1st division last season was so apparent, but it's now beginning to shape up. Now you're seeing it, like as you say, there's a lot of goals and they're tight games, and that's what you want.
Oh, 100%. You don't want him to run away with 16 points in front and beating everybody. Every game's a big game. Like second playing 9th's a big game. It's a 6-pointer, realistically. So it's great. Again, going back to for your £5 or your £6, it's brilliant. It really is.
It certainly is. St Anthony's there on our side. They deserve a lot of credit. 1-2-1 at home to Glasgow Uni. St Anthony's, I think they're up to 9th. I think they've got a lot of games to make up as well. But Martin Mullaney again scoring a goal. Jack McMurray. They've got a lot of players who come up in big games.
I know the second boy you mentioned there. I've heard him, and again, when you look on the Twitter and the Facebook and that, it's usually they two who are scoring the goals, isn't it? It's usually, again, it helps if you've got a guy who's scored 20 goals a season. It's got to help you get points in the table.
Yeah, it certainly is. 3rd division, we only have 2 games to talk about. A tight game between Finnart and Vale of Leven. Finnart 2, Vale of Leven 3. That means Vale of Leven are up to 3rd. Big 2 sides, 2 evenly matched sides. Tight game by all reports. And Vale of Leven up to 3rd.
Again, though, it's very similar to the second division, isn't it? Like take away Bellshill for second to about 12th or something. There's 5, 6 points in it. Teams will get 2 games in hand. Teams
8 points. 8 points between 2nd and 13th.
Crazy.
Why
it's crazy. Again, as I said, I know Lanark went on a wee run there and still find myself at 7th, but only 2 games in hand. But looking at the table where we're on, Finnart were sitting at 8th or 9th 3 weeks ago, and they're up there in 3rd now with a few wins, all bit of disappointing result of the weekend. But again, that'll come right down to the wire who goes up there. I've seen a lot of the teams in that division. If you follow Lanark before going to Albert, there's some good teams in there as well. Some really good teams in that 3rd division, and they all like to try and play. That's one thing I've noticed. They try and play. There's not much in it there at all.
Port Glasgow, they get their 4th win of the season. They won 3-0 at home to Ardea. Finlay Steel with a double. Good result for them.
Oh, big result, because I think out with Kello, they were looking as if they could have been struggling at one point, but I think they've got a couple of wins in their lap out of 4 or 5. So again, they'll probably fancy their chances now, similar to us, just get the points in the table and see where it takes you.
Yeah, only one game in the 4th division. East Kilbride Thistle won 4-2 away to Easterhouse. 4 different goal scorers: Blues, Edgar, Rooney and Scullion. And East Kilbride Thistle, they're on our side. They're up to 4th now. You look at the top of that table, and I want to get your thoughts on something like a lot of these teams. Like, it's looking like you've got Glenvale, Thorn, St Peters, East Kilbride, Rossvale, Gifnacott and Lugar have done really well. There's a lot of really good sides in there. Is there any sides out of there that you kind of think are you're really impressed with?
Fun. I was
Fun.
really, as I say, we've got Rossvale this Saturday, and I've done a wee bit of digging on Rossvale as you do, and I'm led. A boy went up and watched them a couple of weeks ago against Fun, and they're a good side as well. That'll be a hard test for us on Saturday, but just talking previous experience where we've played, I was really impressed with Fun. Young team, but again, going back to teams in the third division, they try and play. 2-0 down, they're no bored getting into trouble, or they just want to play, and I think they'll do well. It was a big result for them at Rossvale last Friday, 5-1. I think they could go up. I've also obviously been told about the other top teams, St Peters, Glenvale, East Kilbride. They'll be over the moon with that win at Easterhouse. I know Easterhouse are struggling, and I'm not sure if they've appointed a manager, but it's never easy to go at a team when they're at the bottom of the league and you're expected to win. It's a no-win situation. Oh, you should be winning by this or that. It's all about 3 points. So he'd have been over the moon just getting down there and getting the win again before they appoint a new manager, because they might appoint a new manager and they get the bounce off it. So that's a big result for East Kilbride up there to keep in touch with them. But I really liked Fawn. Going back to Fawn, I was really impressed with Fawn. And they seem to be really well run as well. I think they'll go up. I've not seen the other two yet, but I've heard good things about them as well.
I'm just looking at your fixtures, like for the 16th. Well, obviously, he's played Rossvale, but then you after Christmas host Glenvale, obviously host your old pal in the Lanark in the Cup, home to Gaffnock, away to East Kilbride Thistle, and then away home to St Peters. So you're going to come up against these big sides kind of quickly.
Aye, we are 100%, and we're looking forward to it. We've got a wee bit of a buzz for that. As I said earlier on the show, to see where we're at. As I say, it's all right when you're winning games, but I'm under no illusions that we're going to win every game in this division. There's a lot of boys who are moved up who have got no junior experience playing, and so that's where we'll see where we're at after that run of fixtures. That's probably, if you'd say any team in the league, the hardest run of fixtures you could get in such a short period of time. So it's good. I'm really looking forward to it all the same. As I say, I've heard really good things about St Peters and Glenvale, East Kilbride, Rossvale. And I think if you look at the table, that is a wee bit of a kind of top six and then a bottom kind of. You've got your top six, then you've got your kind of 3 or 4 teams, BSC, Knightswood, kind of. And then obviously you've got the teams who have been struggling this season. But again, going back, we played Killucan, and if you look at Killucan's results or where they're sitting in the league, they didn't play like a team who'd been struggling this season. They've got some really good players as well. So you need to turn up on the day.
Yeah, you certainly do. We've got a couple of games in midweek. Gartcairn play Bees in the Premier Division and Pollock play Conor. They're 2 exciting games on a Wednesday night. They're something to look forward to as well.
Two really good games that. Obviously Gartcairn are flying as well now, aren't they? With the back that they're receiving in their signings. Beef for Beef, that's a cracking game. Again, similar to Clydebank Pollock, you can't pick a winner there. That's no be surprised if that's a 2 each or a 3 each or somebody gets a penalty late on or whatever. And same again with Darvel Cumnock, we kind of derby there, isn't it? I think Darvel's done really well, obviously. It's been no secret that they're kind of cutting back a bit, not, and I think the manager's done a great job there to keep the boys winning games of football. Because it can't be easy when you're the centre of attention as much as they are, and kind of people hoping for you to lose games or whatnot. They're on a good run as well, so that's 2 good fixtures, that, aye.
No, I'm looking forward to that as well. It'll be interesting. Conor, that's that. We're going to wrap up the show there, mate. I want to wish you all the best at Royal Albert, and thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Pleasure, mate. Thank you. Thanks very much for everyone tuned in. Please follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels. Thanks very much, guys. We'll see you soon.